My name's Robbie Mitchell, and this is the inaugural Pulse Research Week. And today is the Pulse Internet Measurement Forum, Spanish version or Spain version. There won't be much Spanish speaking here, unfortunately, for those who are local or speak the language. So we've been running the Pulse Internet Measurement Forum, or PIMF events. It's started this year, and we've been running them across several continents. Started in Malaysia earlier this year. We moved to Thailand, over to Nigeria, to Argentina, and to India just last month as well. So this is, what are we up to now, Amrish? 6. We didn't intend to do that many, but there's been a great demand for it. And that is in itself a really good reflection of the want from the community for this kind of forum, to be able to have these discussions, not just about the internet measurement research, where there is already really good forums out there in terms of the SIGCOMs, PAM events, etc., but trying to put it into a bit more context associated with the importance of measurement in relation to the internet and the society that it relies on the internet. So to get ourselves started for this event, we want to showcase researches that's been conducted by our partners and also our fellows. We've had 10 fellows this year, and we've also got some alumni in the audience as well and attending hopefully virtually. So the fellowship's been going for 3 years now, and it's given us that extra resource to be able to do the research required as well to accompany, I guess, the website that we're creating in terms of Pulse, which is collating all this really amazing research data to be able to contextualize the health, evolution, and availability of the internet. So for the next 2 days, we'll be hearing from our research partners and our fellows and all the work that they've been working on for the last 11 months related to a lot of the themes that are close to the project in terms of internet availability, internet concentration, the technologies, the critical technologies associated with it, and resilience as well. So the people virtually, you'll be joining us for half the day, speaker sessions. In the second half, for those who are here in person, we're then going to give you time and space, which is a rare occurrence at events, to be able to actually think with your colleagues and just conceptualize, where do we want to be in terms of our research? What if? Conceptualizing the what ifs of where we want the internet to be in 5 years' time, and particularly the themes of the research that you've been focusing on. So we're going to give you that time over 2 days, and you're going to work in groups and hopefully bringing your own strengths to that. And don't be shy if you get put into a group that's only working with BGP and you're like, I'm out, I have no idea. There's going to be a lot that you can still bring to it. And being able to think laterally and bringing your own experience from somewhere else, that's really important, because that's where we start to get that new novel essence, and tends to be something that becomes more user-oriented as well. So to kick us off, I'm going to get up Hanna, who has been looking after the fellowship program for the last 3 years. He's going to talk about the program, and then I'm going to pass it over to Michuki, a distinguished scientist. Yeah, that's what you aren't you these days, yes. Distinguished scientist, and he'll give you a bit of the greater context of what we're doing in terms of our internet measurement work, in how it is helping us at the Internet Society and our community as well. So Hanna.
Thank you, Robbie, and hello, everyone. My name is Hanna Kreitem, and I'll be talking very briefly about the fellowship program once we have the slides up. Yes, fellowships is something that we do a lot at the Internet Society. We have different types of fellowships with different concepts, how they are run, and what the fellows take in return. For many, it's capacity development, as with the leadership fellowships. We have 2 fellowships of that kind, early career fellowship and the mid-career fellowship. They are focused on people who want to be internet leaders. The other type of fellowship is more of a technical fellowships. And we're looking at people who are interested in learning how to do peering, because that's a very important part of what we do at the Internet Society. We believe that the internet gets better with more networks peering together. We also have the policy fellowships, and these are 3 different fellowships that we offer. We have the community fellowship, policymaker fellowship, as well as the youth ambassador program. These are targeted at different audiences, different people at different levels in their careers and interests. And then the last but not least, the research fellowships, which the Pulse Research Fellowship is a key component of it, and the other one is the NDSS Research Fellowship. So the Pulse Research Fellowship is something that we try to support research that would make a difference. It is a 6-month program, 6-month research program that supports data-driven analysis or development of tools that contributes to what we believe in as an internet that is globally connected, secure, open, and trustworthy. The objectives of this program is to support researchers, as many of you here in the room, to conduct original top-tier research, but also we want to create a community among you. We want to have a community of people that work in this field, that share the same values and the same view about how the internet needs to be, more or less. We want also to build partnerships among individuals, organizations, host institutes, and so on, and other researchers. And we want to get the great body of research that is sitting there in research papers into a more practical aspect. We want to find ways to implement these methodologies in how we measure the internet. And this is, as Robbie said, this is our 3rd year running the fellowship. In 2023, we had 3 fellows. We had Algavan, Aravind, and Sadia. And then in 2024, we continued with also a slightly larger cohort of 4 fellows. So we had James, Yasser, Jan Marius, and Mike. This year, we started with 10 fellows. It's the biggest cohort so far, clearly 3, 4, 10, but also there's a twist. So 10 is not the final number even. We started with 10, but then we started as a subject focus fellowship where we had 3 additional fellows. So now we have 13 fellows in 2025 plus 6 mentors. The fellowship was popular. We received a lot of applications from all around the world. And this is the group that we selected for the fellowship. Many of you are here in the room. Others are watching us online. So we have Nishant, Antonio, Dipsy, Deepak, Rashna, Raya, Karthik, Tanya, Florian, and Martin, as well as the mentors, Marino, Alexander, Vasily, Liz, and Kevin. And then the special focus fellowship on IB physics. We have Sachin, Vishnavi, and they are being overseen or supervised by Theo. So that's very quick about the fellowship so far. We have opened the 2026 applications for the 2026 fellowship. So yeah, please spread the word. So far, we plan to have similar cohort as this year. So yeah, it will be fun. And some marketing.
Thank you, Hanna. Can we go back to the other slides, starting slide? Yes, please do share it with your colleagues. As those in the room who are fellows, past and present, I'm sure that you can attest that it's a good experience and one that we want to continue to grow the alumni of. Finally, before we start with the research presentations from our fellows, I'd like to welcome Internet Society's distinguished scientist, Michuki Mwangi, to help us understand that big picture of why we measure the internet and how it helps in our efforts to advocate, develop, and maintain for an open, globally connected, secure, and trustworthy internet. Michuki.
Thanks, Robbie. I don't have a speech, and I know the way Robbie introduced this, I'm supposed to give a very inspiring speech or something, but I really just don't have much of that. First, I just want to thank all of you for making time to join us this week. I know it's not easy to find the time, especially towards the very end of the year, where lots of things are happening and you need to close out the year. But thank you for making the time to come here. I also say this because I'm also being informed that there are quite a number of people who really wanted to be here in person but couldn't due to various travel challenges, and including some of the increasing travel restrictions around the world. My sincere apologies for that. It's not much I could do, or any of us could do, but we continue to learn from these experiences and see how we can make future events be in such a way that more people can be able to attend. I also want to thank the people who are joining remotely. It's, again, a commitment to be able to make the time and follow things remotely. And I also want to thank the team as well, led by Amrish, Brian, Hanna, my missing Robbie, Claire. They've really had to do this in very short time. When we reached a point and decided there with this room, as Robbie was saying, we didn't think we were going to do this many PIMF events. And then when we realized we could actually make this happen, and we saw the value of actually bringing people together, I think it was a lot of time for us to plan and make this happen. So it's been a lot of long days for the team. So thank you for all the efforts that you put together to make this work. I also want to thank our partners who really came through to us during this organization. So we have the Giga UNICEF team, we have the ISOC Catalonia chapter, we have MLabs who have come through for us in really helping to organize this. Also, the folks who've been behind the scenes in helping organizing MCI, the service provider. We also got Denise, who's going to be, please, Denise, stand up. I think it's good for folks to get to know. Denise will be our facilitator. Dennis, sorry, not Denise. I keep saying it wrong. Dennis Luja will be our facilitator for the afternoon sessions. He has a very interesting approach to facilitation. We are looking forward to that interaction. And so he agreed to do this as well and has worked with us behind the scenes. We've put in quite a lot of hours the last couple of weeks, and he's gracefully accepted to support us this week as well. So thank you. Thank you as well. To my main sort of comments is, why do we care about internet measurements? Some of you may be familiar with the work that we're doing. Last year, we came up with a 2030 strategy, which was informed through consultations with a number of people in this room. And I can point a few faces that I spoke to, or individuals in this room that I spoke to, as we were trying to imagine what our future work would look like, meaning 2025 through to 2030, what that would look like. And based on the feedback that we received, we had to tackle two global challenges, two issues, really. One is the global inequality when it comes to access, and the second one is lack of trust on the internet. So we needed to tackle that over the next 5 years. And the goal here is that for people everywhere to have access to affordable and reliable access, and for people everywhere to have a safe and secure experience on the internet. So those are big challenges. Now the question is, how do we do so in a way that is, one, informed by data? How do we make decisions that are data-driven? And that work comes from a lot of what you do, because the data that you get, you collect, the measurements work, the research work that you do in your respective fields really talks to those two main issues that we are facing today on the internet. And so that's why the work that we do on internet measurements really is important to us, because it then informs what the work we do, the work we do with our partners, and the work that some of the partners or organizations that are looking up to us at the Internet Society are saying about these issues. So I'll give an example. We do advocacy work. And when we talk to governments and policymakers, where is the data coming from? What's the analysis saying? So we need to come from a point where we're providing accurate and accurate analysis, meaning that it's coming from good data sources. We also want to do thoughtful analysis that helps to provide insights about the evolution, availability, and health of the internet. So we need to be able to do, and I think based on the folks who are in this room, you can start thinking about what are those issues that we should actually be researching. So over the next couple of years, what we really want to hear from you and learn from you is what are those topics or research areas that haven't really been touched on. So far, for those of you who have tracked the work on Pulse, we have some research areas. We've done shutdowns, we are doing IXPs, we are doing concentration, we are doing resilience. Are there questions in there, research areas that we actually haven't tapped? And as my colleagues Hanna and Robbie have mentioned, are they practical enough? Do they actually speak to these audiences? So when we do our advocacy work, are we actually able to speak to policymakers in a way that resonates with the issues that they're seeing and helps them make better decisions? When we talk to network operators or businesses that are running the internet, are we able to share knowledge with them or information with them that makes them review how they actually operate and make the internet better and more resilient? When we engage with advocates and people who are advocating for the internet, are we arming them with sufficient information to be better advocates for the change that we would like to see when it comes to the internet? So all of those are things that we would like to have an impact on, or the areas that we would like to have an impact on. But data becomes really, the analysis becomes the two key things that we are hoping we'll be able to improve on as we go forward. So having the data, having the analysis. And the one thing that you may know from the work that we've done with the Internet Society, it's not about us. And that's why we are a society, right? It's not about the organization itself, but it's about working with the community. So underneath all of this, we are just a facilitator. Think of us as a facilitator that is really trying to get the best of you to tell us how we can make the internet better. And we become the vehicle that sort of enables you to pass that along to those who need to actually take that action. So really think of us as that enabler. We will try and get the resources that you need to make this work. That's why the fellowship programs are there and other aspects that we can talk about in the course of this week to support your work. And hopefully in the end, we will have a better, open, globally connected, and secure and trustworthy internet. So thank you very much.